the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go live.
What's going on, Rick? I'm here with Jose Ramirez's manager. Rick, what's going on this Sunday, man? Jose Ramirez, championship fight against Jose Cepeda. What can you tell me about this fight?
10,000 screaming fans will be there to save our center like normal. We're doing this on a Sunday in the afternoon. It's the first time, I think, in 25 years a major boxing fight's been done, on a Sunday in the afternoon. So, we took that challenge, and I think we've killed it. And you've been to Fresno a few times, so there's no question the atmosphere will be electric for these guys.
Right. Hey, one big question I have for you was, with the World Boxing Super Series, with the state that it's in, it looks like it's falling apart. Funds aren't there. I mean, everybody wanted Jose to fight Regis Prograis. What are your thoughts on the WBS?
I mean, I said it from day one. I say it on Instagram and Twitter and get into arguments with hundreds of people. But I won all the arguments. I said it was a joke from day one, and it's been a joke. No one's attended. I think Regis had 600 people show up in his home state because they don't know how to promote him, in this last bout. And then the checks aren't cashing. The guys are falling out. By the time they get to the second round, the fighters will be like 90 years old. I mean, it's a waste of time. Like, why do it? So it sounded good until someone had to write a check.
Right, and then the funds weren't there, apparently.
Yeah.
So with that going on, if Regis does become available, if this thing falls apart and he becomes available, how soon do you think Jose could possibly get that matchup? This fight, next fight, or the very next fight?
So I think it's a little ways off, but not far. So Regis has to. I think they still have Regis tied up somehow, meaning contractually he can't do anything now if he wanted to. But look, first and foremost, I like Regis. I think he's got a great personality and he's a good fighter. I'm gonna be the first to say that. But this thing needs to marinate a little bit more, and not a lot more, but end of the year, early next year, and that depends what contractually he's tied up in that tournament. If that's what you want to call it, a tournament. But we have to wait and see what happens there. Jose's got a lot more options than Regis does. Trust me. I mean, you could see Eddie Hearn put a big purse bid in, and Jose fight Hooker at Cowboy Stadium. You've got a number of other names floating around. We've almost fought Pacquiao twice. We've had a chance. We agreed to one of them. I mean, there's a lot of names floating out there. You still have Broner running around, who's always a good name in a big fight. So we'll see what opens up after this fight. But Sunday is here first, and then we got to look at Sunday first. Right.
So Broner's still relevant, huh? Even after a loss, he sells.
I think Broner is still relevant, barely, but I think he's still relevant for a fight. And again, there's a lot of names. The 140 division has become the best division. It's the hottest right now, I think.
Yeah, it's back.
The one with the most potential. So we have the top of the food chain. So.
And so top rank, because some people, Maurice Hooker, they say, Eddie Hearn, DAZN, that top rank and DAZN, can they get together and make that happen?
Of course, people that keep saying that. Top rank and Arum, they've made deals with everybody. Just go look at the fights that have been done. And DAZN still has a deep checkbook. So Eddie Hearn has been very, very public and upfront that he'll put a very large purse bid in for that fight to make it happen. So Arum's a businessman. We're business people on this end. I'm sure that they'll find a way to get a fight done if it's possible. But all this in-house talk it's kind of it's funny sometimes because they do make a lot of fights with a lot of different promoters. Right.
Okay. Hey, I gotta touch on the big cause for this fight, the fight for cancer. I haven't asked you about it. I know what's going on. I just want to hear your view of what Jose does for the community.
Didn't know this fight was tough. So this was Jose was supposed to fight in Las Vegas for this fight. We went back and had talked, and Jose's at a different level now, so he's a sellable asset at the level he's at. He's a world champion. He's got a good draw. He's a fighter that is television rated, meaning he can put on a television worthy fight. He's aggressive. He comes forward. So when Las Vegas was being looked at, you know, we had to find another angle just to discuss what could we do to get a fight back home, because there won't be a lot now. He'll go, you know, like we did in New York. He'll go to Madison Square Garden. He'll go to Texas. And you'll see him in Vegas. So, you know, my mom's passing of cancer now, so I wanted to do something for her that was memorable. Jose just lost his grandfather last year in September to cancer, and his grandfather before that. So that was it. I didn't want to do something regular. You always see all kinds of cancer promotions and this and that. I wanted to do something different. So I pitched ESPN and Top Rank an idea I had, and they said, yeah. So 10,000 people will hold up a sign that says, "Let's KO cancer," when Ramirez walks out on ESPN. To 120 million subscribers, Jose will have a purple light hit the walkway, and the iridescent purple color fill the arena. We'll have 2 people from the cancer center ring the bell in the ring. That's what they do when they beat cancer in a hospital. If it goes into remission, you know, they ring a bell. And then we're gonna auction off his attire that he wears and donate it to the cancer center, and that'll go for 20 or 30,000 bucks minimum. We've done it a few times for other causes. And then outside of that, we're donating $3 a ticket, $3 a voucher. And then, you know, we donated $5,000 today. That's personally from Jose and I, as well as the $3 a ticket. So I just thought if, you know, as a promoter, because I don't just manage, I actually promote, as you know. So my goal is to have someone tear up that night, then get happy, and then root for Jose to knock his opponent's head off. And if you can make someone feel those 3 emotions in one night, you did your job as a promoter.
Yeah, no, you definitely touched on something that I felt deeply too. My brother-in-law passed away from cancer in 2004, and so when you did that, it hit me too. I was like, that's great. Jose Ramirez always seems to hit the right spots here in Central Valley. Last thing, I can't let it go. You used the word marinate. I can't let it go. I wanted to see if you could defend. People always say, especially Nestor Gibbs, he uses the word top-ranked diet when it comes to fighters in Top Rank. That Top Rank lets fights marinate, and they have a diet. So what are your view on that?
It's just an opinion. They're everywhere. You know, people, obviously Top Rank doesn't worry about what that person says, and nor because they're irrelevant. So I think you can look at the fights Top Rank has made for the past 50 years. They're some of the biggest in the sport. It's also a business. As much as you don't want to think so, they look out for fighters. They maximize a fighter's earnings for them as well. So when they don't make a fight early on, it's not necessarily because they feel that their fighter is not favored to win or any of that. It's just the business elements aren't behind it yet. So, you know, that's what I think when they say, you know, the diet portion. Plus, Top Rank knows how to raise champions, and they know how to fight them at the right time. They're not scared to turn their fighters loose, and there's plenty of fights we both can cite where they put their guys in. I mean, Ramirez was an underdog to Amir Imam in New York. So the diet philosophy and all the other stuff goes out the window. You know, Top Rank put him in, they let him fly, and he dominated the entire fight because that was the time to let him go and let him do what he does. And then he came right back with a Roscoe, who's an unbelievable fighter, and put another dominant.
That was a great fight. Yes,
put a dominant performance on. So they know what they're doing. Everybody's got stuff timed properly. I've taken care of stuff from a business standpoint with shows and maximizing his earnings to a T. And you know, you got poor guys like Regis. They said they're 7-figure fighters, and I love this guy. I'm telling you.
I heard that.
If I promoted him, he'd have 3 times the money he has, and he knows it. And he won't admit it, or maybe he will. He's a great personality. But he ain't got it yet. He ain't figured it out yet that you got to find somebody that knows how to take that personality and take that skill and monetize it. And so while he thinks he's a 7-figure fighter, he's not yet, because by the time DeBella takes his cut, the trainer takes his cut, the manager takes his cut, and you got no other income streams, you're in the low sixes of a fighter. Jose's a real 7-figure fighter. And Jose was making that type of money at 5-0. Because he had somebody that can monetize it. So, you know, that's what I think it suffers from. But, you know, if those 2 fight, I'm gonna ask Aaron, you know, if I could, you know, have the ability to promote it too, because I know what to do with it. There's no question about that.
No question.
You know, I think that'd be a big fight and a big money fight. But Regis has to beat a couple guys first. Like, you know, he hasn't beat in my opinion, he hasn't beat a solid guy yet. I mean, They wanted to bring up what's his face. I mean, I can't even remember his name now. The Crawford beat. What was his name? when they had the unification fight.
You talking about Ndongo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Julius Ndongo.
He was already destroyed going into that fight. He was done, and Jose would have beat him worse and faster. But outside of that, I want to see Regis take a real guy on, because I've seen some fights, and he's taking a little bit of damage. Now, he ain't been hit by Jose Ramirez yet.
Right.
He has not been caught with a hook or a body shot. And if he's getting, tagged up a little bit by those guys, it's a different story. But definitely a fun fighter to watch. Definitely a great personality. I hope his promoters and handlers, that like the WBSS, that's why I laugh at it. They got a kid like that, they don't even know what to do with it. They come to the United States and they got a fighter like that, and then they're clueless on how to use him. I hope he smartens up before they just let certain people take his promotional rights and not use him the right way.
If I could bother you for one more question, you mentioned Crawford. So I know it's not a 100% plan yet, but do you see Jose Ramirez cleaning up the 140-pound division, or do you see him moving up to possibly face like a Crawford?
Both. Of course, I see Jose at 140 cleaning the division.
Cleaning it up first.
You won't find another boxing analyst that won't say that. Now, they're going to bring up Regis, and they should. He's a good fighter. But if they were locked up in a basement and someone had to pick between Regis and Jose to win for them to get out of the basement and untied, they wouldn't pick Regis. They would pick Jose. So I think Jose does unify and clean up that division, and they'll graduate him up to 147 when the time's right, and you probably will see a Crawford fight. Jose's got to get through another year. He's got to mature still. You guys got to understand, Jose's 5 years younger than Crawford. That's a boxing lifetime. So he's going through the motions now, and he's going through the fights that he needs to, but absolutely, I think he cleans up 140. I think he goes to 147, and there's a couple big fights waiting there. Unless Lomachenko comes up to 140, but that would be dangerous for Lomachenko. Right. So I mean, that's a dangerous fight if he fights Jose at 140. I don't think Lomachenko beats Jose at all at 140. So I don't know if he'll go up, but that 147 division, Ramirez will graduate into it.
Hey, Rick, great talking to you. Can't wait to see the fight on Sunday. It's going to be a packed card, top rank, ESPN, ESPN Plus.
If you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.